The dirt don't settle, won't sleep or stay. Signals live, baby, on the Palmetto Racing Network waves, where the roots run deep, gators bite, and the mean serpents play. Fumes and the engines louder than bombs. Only two things known to live long: champions, legends, stock car engine. The roughest, toughest bunch of motorsports, the wildest crowd you ever seen before. Palmetto lights burning through the low country road. Champions, legends, stock car engine. Palmetto lights burning through the low country road. Network of choice for the bold, for the free. Every roar, every voice on the air, on the screen. What they hear, what they know, where they've been, what they seen. Every turn, every burn, Palmetto carries the speed. Mean serpents, roughest, loudest, on scene, on stream. The roughest, toughest bunch of motorsports, the wildest crowd you ever seen before. Palmetto lights burning through the low country road. Champions, legends, stock car engine. Palmetto lights burning through the low country road.
Good afternoon, race fans, and thank you for joining us again here over at Palmetto Racing Network for another exciting afternoon of racing here at Watkins Glen International as the Palmetto Racing League's Truck Series takes to the track for 35 laps of road course action this weekend. We've got a bit of an overview there of the track currently. Looks like the 83 of Joshua Fix out there getting his qualifying laps in. Let's go ahead and talk about our racetrack info here as the stage is set. Watkins Glen International, this is their 32nd race of the regular season for season 2 here. You see the track configuration about 2.5 miles in length, so things will be a bit spread out tonight. With it being a road course, there will be no halfway stage to, this afternoon, or no regular cautions. So if a driver wipes out or loses control of the truck, it's going to cost them big here. So we'll go ahead and take that track info down now. Qualifying just getting underway here, so while we have a few moments, let's go ahead and talk about point standings currently. We see the 2 of Aaron Vogt there still leading the season standings with 943 points after last weekend's race. Joshua Fix there in the 83 with 870 in second. Andrew Ziegler in third. Brent Thompson fourth. Brandon Meir fifth place there with 548. And Mr. Dole Boyd there with 543 in sixth. Austin Ziegler in the 9. He is in seventh. Ricky DeRozier in eighth. Matthew Corley in ninth. Stephen Gall in 10th. Christopher Mulkerin moving up the ladder a bit there in 11th. Aaron Martin in 12th. And Dustin Spates in 13th. So that is the current point standings there. Be interesting to see how it changes up at the conclusion of this one this afternoon. Got about 2.5 minutes left of qualifying, and we'll be ready to get this one underway. Things should roll pretty smoothly here. Won't have to worry about the caution slowing us down tonight. But drivers will definitely have to worry about it and make sure they're hitting their marks, as it could cost them a lot of time here. These guys got about 2 minutes from finishing up. And while we're thinking about it, let me pull up the schedule and tell you what is on the hot plate for next weekend. So these guys will head to Dover Saturday for 55 laps there on the 16th. So should be another fun race for sure. And the Street Stock Series also returns back to regular season action this week on Wednesday the 13th, as they head to Irwindale for, I believe it is the outer inner configuration of Irwindale. So that should be a fun race. So winding down the season for those guys, the regular season anyway, and preparing to move on into the playoff bracket. It is looking like all the registered drivers in the Street Stock Series will be moving into the playoff, and we'll start slimming us down as we progress through a round of 12, round of 8, and then a round of 4 before crowning a season champion here with the Street Stock. So season's winding down. We'll have some road course action coming up in this bracket of 5 races, so that'll be exciting to see as well. And I do believe the truck series are ready to go. Should be finishing up qualifying now, moving into grid up. Yep, drivers have already started gridding here, so we'll get all of our track information up, track map. Get that ready to go.
Mic check. Gotcha, loud and clear. Good luck, Brandon.
Brandon, what are you running your brake bias at? Well, Chris, what are you running yours at?
Sorry, I didn't have a mic on. I got it at stock.
So it looks like a rather small grid this evening.
All right.
5 drivers currently gridded now as the pace truck gets rolling.
I almost wanted to leave it stock, and then I put it up to like 68 and back down at like 66.5, but I don't know. Turn 1 and 2, cars all over the place.
Carousel's a little bit tricky too.
I didn't practice as much as I wanted to, but I ran that 114.8 and I felt decent, so I tried running it a little harder, but I don't know. I know I can make up a little ground. I don't know about a 114.2.
If it was open setup, I think I could have made this truck better. It's just the fixed setup. I'm not
While
good
these
with.
guys are getting things ready to go here, we are moments away from going live. And it looks like a little bit of track confusion here. I think we have, that is the 4 of Christopher Mulker in there in the 4. But it appears we have another driver out there with a scheme that's also running a 4 as well. Not entirely sure who that one is, but I'm sure we will figure it out momentarily here. Believe that may be the 25 of Stephen Gall, because he is the only car number I do not see out there. Bit of a long parade lap here on this road course as we look to get started here momentarily. As the pace truck should be coming off this time through. And he is off, and we are about to get this one underway. And they are off. So we see the 33 of Brandon Muir there leading. Fastest in qualifying this afternoon. This is definitely not a track you can get antsy at here. Definitely got to have some throttle restraint in this one. The 19 of Andrew Ziegler there just in front of the 4 of Christopher Mulkeren. That is the 25 of Stephen Gall just behind him there in the blue truck. Two laps into this one now. Brandon Muir in the 33 establishing a pretty decent lead so far. The 4 of Christopher Mulker in there making all the use of the outside portion of the track there. There we see the 25 of Stephen Gall. Pay no mind to the number on his car. A little bit of a number mix-up this evening, but no big deal. We know who he is. Drivers getting this thing off to a good start. A lot of them making full use of the track there. Watkins Glen is definitely one of those tracks known for some hiccups, so we'll see if we see any of those happen this evening. So far, so good. 3 laps into this thing. I think the last road course these guys ran was the Daytona road course there, and that was a pretty interesting race. Saw quite a bit of a battle there between the 25 of Stephen Gall and the 33 of Brandon Muir. Those guys definitely put on a heck of a show that night. Things moving right along in this one. Should keep the pace up. Not having any cautions, it'll keep it running pretty smooth and everything should flow right along. Christopher Mulker in there in the 4, still currently in second. About a 4-second gap between himself and the 33 of Brandon Meir. Things flowing pretty smoothly in this one for these drivers. Not your typical oval truck racing here. Definitely throws a curveball in for some of these guys that may not be as efficient at road courses. Looks like the 83 of Joshua Fick struggling a bit there as he is a ways off the pack there. He's looking at the track map. Getting some up close action there at that turns camera. Stephen Gall swinging wide on that one. Making effective use of the majority of the track through that little stretch there. Both of these drivers here staying right with one another as the 25 of Stephen Gall was trying his best to get up on the 4 of Christopher Mulker, maybe try to get him a pass in. I think everybody is just trying to kind of hold it together a little bit there. Good save by the 25 of Stephen Gall coming over the chicanes there. As I mentioned earlier, these guys are heading to Dover next Saturday, and then the following Saturday they will be headed to the race in Charlotte. So we'll be back at Charlotte Motor Speedway for some more intermediate oval action. It is a bit of irony here that the Paint job mix-up on the 25 of Stephen Gall being the number 4. We have 2 4s battling it out here. They happen to be the closest to each other on the track here. I don't know. I don't think you could have. I don't think you could have guessed that one. It's crazy, coincidental. Brandon Muir still riding comfortably up there, with still about a 4-second gap there between himself and Christopher Mulkerin in the 4. Will be nothing but room this afternoon for green flag pit stops here, with no cautions, no halfway stage. That also means no 10-point stage bonus to the stage winner, as there isn't one. But we will get things back to normal oval action next week. .27 to go in this one now, and the laps are winding down relatively quickly here. It looks like everyone is doing an excellent job keeping this one very, very clean. Does seem like we have been focused a good bit on the 4 here, so let's, well, excuse me, the 2 4s. So let's swap the view up a little here as we take a look at the
outside,
33 of Brandon Muir now, passing the 83 of Joshua Fix, putting him a lap down. Saw the 83 get out of his way there a bit. Trying to make sure these guys are able to stay competitive with one another.
Thank you, Josh.
No problem, guys. No problem.
The 83 of Joshua Fix not trying to mess up anyone's race this afternoon. Checking in with these guys during practice, seems about everyone on the track was getting roughly about 19 laps to a tank of fuel, so we're not quite close to that marker, but I imagine within the next 10 to 12 laps or so, maybe less, start seeing some of these guys head into pits to maybe take tires and fuel. We'll see how all that winds up working out here. Let's check out some of our other drivers on track. Let's go jump to the 19 of Andrew Ziegler here. Getting a little loose in the turn, but he hangs on to it. Currently running in 4th place here. Slick paint scheme there on the 19. Definitely like the colors. That's a good scheme. Couple of drivers in the truck series changing up to the Ram trucks since they have made their debut back in NASCAR and iRacing as well. Always cool to see them out on the track. Oh, looks like the 83 might have got a little loose there coming out of the turn. Getting himself straightened out on track. That's going to cost him some time there. '19 of Andrew Ziegler was able to dodge that one, get around without any issue there. Top to the 27 of Aaron Martin, currently in 5th place. Getting through the chicanes there, and sharp turns left and right. A little bit of a zigzag. It's always a tricky part of the track right there, and I've seen drivers in the past before come into that one really hot and just completely shoot through. Some of them even going into the wall there. And there is the 83 of Joshua Fix, currently a lap down. Missing quite a few drivers tonight. One with prior commitments that kept them from making it to this one. Another one who is getting situated with some stuff at home, and hopefully will be back in the action very soon. It's not very typical to see the truck series numbers dwindle down. Most people thoroughly enjoy running these trucks here, as it looks like the 4 of Christopher Mulkerin now is just behind the 27 of Aaron Martin. Let's jump back around here and take a look. There is the 4 of Christopher Mulkerin. Manages to get past the 27 of Aaron Martin now. As it looks like some point in this,
I messed up so bad on the lap you hit. You gained twice the amount.
25 of Stephen Gall managed to get around the 4 of Christopher Mulkerin and has about a almost 8-second gap there between himself and the leader, the 33 of Brandon Meir. Tell you what though, man, that 4 of Christopher Mulkerin there, he is really doing a fantastic job here hitting his marks on this road course.
25 fitting.
Sounds like the 25 of Stephen Gall going to go ahead and hit up pit road. Looks like the 33 of Brandon Meir also going in here. As they come in and see what the 33 chooses to do here. Looks like he is going to take some fuel and then roll off. No tires on this one. Looks like maybe the 25 of Stephen Gall took some tires. Coming off of pit road now. So 2 drivers already pitting this one. Brandon Meir in the 33 is still holding down that first place spot there. A bit wide on the 83 of Joshua Fix there, making use of all of the track. Andrew Ziegler currently still in 4th place now. Christopher Mulkerin in the 4 has now moved back up to his 2nd place spot after the pit there from the 25 of Stephen Gall. However, that 4 is still going to have to pit at some point here, which could, flop the leaderboard again. Brandon Meir making a very effective pit stop here and getting in to just take some fuel. Going to continue to roll on those same set of tires there. One lap away from being 15 laps in the books. Sounds like some excellent driving there by the 33 of Brandon Meir. After riding up front with him for a bit, and boy, I tell you, he really breezes through those chicanes right there. I could just picture myself trying to make it through those things as smoothly as he did, and I can tell you right now it wouldn't go that smooth at all. His gap there between the himself and the 4 of Christopher Mulkerin now gotten a little bigger, about a 10-second gap. But it looks like the 4 of Chris is trying to close it. Looks like another driver going off in pit lane there now. Let's take a look at that. It looks like the 27 of Aaron Martin. Laps officially complete now. Just 20 laps remaining in this one. '27 of Aaron Martin now coming off a pit road. Christopher Mulkerin there in the 4, still in second now. Closing the gap slightly.
'83 hitting this time through.
Sound like the 83 is going to go ahead and take his pit this time around. The 4 of Christopher Mulkerin there trying to take his time in the turn, not trying to give it too much throttle, have that rear end come around on him. Seen a couple of drivers do it this afternoon, and definitely will cost you a lot of time as we see some of the marbles there out on the track from practice and qualifying there. '25 of Stephen Gall just behind the 4 of Christopher Mulkerin again, shooting up a little bit of dirt there as he's mowing some grass. Both drivers making effective use of the trackside portion there just on the other side of the chicanes. Looks like a bit of an issue back there. I think that was the 19 of Andrew Ziegler. A little bit of issue for the 27 of Aaron Martin as well on pit road there.
I was trying to get out your way, Andrew.
Nice little bit of sideways action there from the 25 of Stephen Gall. As we hop around back and forth between these two guys here, trying to catch every angle possible here. These guys have been right there with each other. They had pretty much the duration of this race. Both drivers trying to keep the pressure on. Brandon Muir in the 33 still maintaining about a 9-second gap ahead of these two, so still up there kind of riding comfortably as long as he hits his marks and does what he needs to. Should have just enough from that pit stop there to maybe make it the remainder of the race without having to go in again. See what happens and how it all pans out here. The 25 of Stephen Gall getting closer on the tailgate of the 4 of Christopher Mulker in there. Maybe looking to try and turn the heat up a bit. Both drivers just breezing through the chicanes there. Oh, got a little loose from the 4 of Christopher Mulker in there, but he hangs on to it. Can't afford any mistakes here. He will definitely give up that second place position to the 25 of Stephen Gall. As the 25 swings out a little wide there. Still able to keep right on that bumper though. Getting relatively close. It was close enough there in the turn that he could have definitely read the fine print if he wanted to. Two drivers now laps down here. Joshua Fix in the 83, 2 laps down. Andrew Ziegler in the 19, 1 lap down. Coming back through the chicanes again here. Seemed like that one was a little bit slower this time through. I think both drivers are trying to be a little cautious there of getting right up on the 12 of Andrew Ziegler. They've pretty much been around each other this whole time during the race, so they're already familiar with how they've been driving the track, but the 19 of Andrew Ziegler there could be a bit of a wild card. They haven't been around him, seeing how he's been handling the turns and whatnot, so nothing wrong with exercising some caution there. Oh, the 25 of Stephen Gall now coming to the inside of the 4. Looked to try and make a pass, but the 4 held on to it well there. Not giving anything up in that one. The 25 is going to have to try and regroup and maybe try again. Coming through the chicanes once again, a little bit hotter this time. 4 of Christopher Mulker in there looking to hang on to that second place position. Still keeping about a same distance there, worth of a gap between himself and the 33 of Brandon Muir. About 10 seconds worth. It looks like the 83 of Joshua Fix there having a bit of an issue. 3 laps down now. Looks like he is heading off into the pits here. Here we go with these two again at it. 25 of Stephen Gall trying to really gain on the 4 there. Looking to try to get around him at some point here. 4 doing a really good job holding him off. Both of these drivers have moved up relatively decent in the point standings over the last month or so. Look like they're going to try to get around the 12 of, or excuse me, the 19 of Andrew Ziegler now. Oh, and the 25 of Steven.
Here, go back.
Trying to make that one right. Excellent job on the 25 there. I can tell you right now, there's a lot of drivers out there.
You could have put that man else on me. I pinched you down.
Most drivers
I
would
couldn't really tell, but I wasn't
not
gonna
have
do it like that.
would not give up that position just because of a incident like that. So excellent job on both drivers' parts, and that's honestly, that's what makes a lot of these guys extremely competitive. They want to do things the right way. They don't. That's always nice to see. They would rather take over from one another in a competitive stance and not what they feel is dirty or unclean. So that excellent sportsmanship out there on the track by these two. $11 laps to go now, and let's jump up front with our leader currently and see how things are going with him. There he is, the 33 of Brandon Meir, with about a 12-second gap now between himself and the 4 of Christopher Mulkerin. Riding through the chicanes, and he's just kind of Sunday strolling out there now. He's doing his putting the work in to keep the gap where it needs to stay at, and even still gaining a couple of seconds where he can. But we are almost at the 10 to go marker here, and we'll be about ready to start winding this one down. Excellent race this afternoon so far with these guys. It's definitely been a good one to watch, no doubt. Sounds like the 25 and the 4 both going in for another pit stop here. Possibly keep them from having to come back in toward the race finish. Not a bad strategy at all. See if we can't get a glimpse here of what these guys decide to take in pits. Well, never mind. Cameraman said he's got other plans. We're going to jump back up front to our leader here, the 33 of Brandon Meir, who is now going to have even more of a gap. That'll give him some breathing room if he decides to pit again to make sure he stays up front. As the 4 of Chris Mulkerin now.
What was that, bud?
I was saying, run your race. I'm sitting.
Copy.
Anybody want a cheeseburger while I'm in here?
33 of Brandon Meir pitting now.
I mean, if you buying.
Nine laps to go now. As these two drivers are back at it again. These two have pretty much been the focal point for this race this afternoon, and I'm not even mad about it.
Brandon, you going pit?
Just coming out now.
So it looks like Brandon Muir is now out of pits, still with about a 9-second gap between himself and the 4 of Christopher Mulkerin and the 25 of Stephen Gall just behind him.
Ooh, I almost just wrecked it.
Coming through the chicanes there relatively quickly. 4 of Christopher Mulkerin there looking like he's gonna try and take advantage of that pit stop and close the gap between himself and the 33. Making effective use of all of the track there. Just 8 to go now. And we are in the very end of this one. One driver already out of the race here, the 27 of Aaron Martin. Hard to keep up with the drivers at a track like this. Everybody is all spread out, not real close together. You know, things that'll change as time progresses and these guys get more drivers into the ranks. A bit of trouble there for the 83 of Joshua Fix. Looked like he might have blew the motor or on the verge of it now as he is dusting for mosquitoes. Definitely took some hard front end damage there in that one. That will probably wrap up the race for him. These guys definitely putting on a great show this afternoon here from Watkins Glen. It's been an interesting race. It looks like the 83 is still making his way around the track here. I'm not sure if he is going to try and stay in this one or go ahead and call it an afternoon, judging by the amount of smoke coming from that truck, though. I would imagine his race is probably done for. The 19 of Andrew Ziegler coming out of pits now. Currently still holding the 4th place position. Looks like the 83 made his way into pits. See what happens with him, whether his race is over or not. I would definitely venture to say it most likely is. That was a hefty amount of smoke coming from that truck. As the 25 of Stephen Gall trying to get himself caught back up to the 4 of Christopher Mulkerin. He's got about a 3-second lead on him here. As I mentioned earlier, this truck race is a bit spread out. The 4 of Chris Mulkerin now, he's closing that gap. Now down to about 9, well, back to 10 seconds now. Between himself and the 33 of Brandon Muir, we've got about 5 laps to go in this one. Heavy smoke still coming across the racetrack there from the 83. I don't know if he's taking, let's take a, well, we can kind of see him sitting there now. I dare say his race is definitely over. As the 33 of Brandon Muir there making it about to the halfway point of the track. Gonna be working his way toward the finish line here. It's the 19 of Andrew Ziegler getting a little squirrely back there. He's able to hang on to it though. Most of these guys looking to finish this one out strong. Still about a 3 to 4 second gap between the 25 and the 4. Those guys staying pretty much right there with one another throughout this whole thing. As we've seen the 4 just off in the distance there from that camera shot. Shrinking the gap back down to almost 9.5 seconds there between himself and the 33 of Brandon Muir. Nice little drift from the 25 of Stephen Gall. As these drivers look to
Good win, Brandon.
prepare
I
to
know it's not like that.
wrap this one up.
Ain't over yet.
Two laps to go now. We'll go ahead and focus our view here on the leader. Follow him around these last 2 laps unless something crazy changes. Don't think there's going to be a lot of shift on the leaderboard here. He is the guy to beat right now anyhow. Getting ready to come to our white flag lap this time through. And there it is. Be wrapping this one up at the conclusion of this lap
Entire
here.
second I gained on you, I gave up that and then more. Damn.
The final turn here, approaching the finish line, as the 33 of Brandon Muir takes home another win in the Palmetto Racing League Truck Series.
Good win, Brandon. Good racing, Chris. Good racing, everybody.
That was a fun race. I still can't figure out the S's at this place. I'm so loose there.
Yeah, the S's are nuts. Were you staying in third in the last corner, or were you dropping it down to second?
Depending on what I wanted to do. If I wanted to stretch it to 13 laps on fuel, I would stay in third for a full lap. But normally I was going down to second gear from the inner loop on.
A little bit of race strategy talk there. Looks like our results are ready. Let's take a look at those. Brandon Muir taking home the win tonight in the 33. Christopher
Chris and I were
Mulkerin
having a hell of a battle. I could catch him through the bus stop. And then
finishing
he
in
pulled for
second
me,
there.
I'd catch him at another
25
spot.
of Stephen Gall finishing in third. Andrew Ziegler finishing in fourth tonight, or this afternoon rather. The 83 of Joshua Fix finishing in fifth, and the 27 of Aaron Martin finishing in sixth place. So another excellent race put on by these guys. Let's go ahead and take a look at our point standings at the conclusion of this one. Still no change up in first place, as the two of Aaron Vogt still with 973 points after taking a provisional for tonight. Joshua Fix now in second still with 902 points. Andrew Ziegler with 632 in third. Brandon Muir moving up to the fourth place spot now with 588 points after this win. Brent Thompson moving down a position with 555 points. Mr. Doyle Boyd there, no change for him, still in sixth place with 543. Stephen Gall in the 25 there, moving up 3 positions now to 530 points. Austin Ziegler in the 9 and 8th place. Ricky DeRozier in 9th. Christopher Mulkerin moving up a position now in 10th place with 502 points. Matthew Corley in 11th. Aaron Martin in 12th. And Dustin Spates in 3rd. So that is our point standings there. We'll go ahead and get those off the screen for you here. And folks, that's going to wrap it up for us today. We hope you enjoyed the broadcast here brought to you by Palmetto Racing Network. I want to do a quick shout out to our sponsors over at Working Man Outdoors. Always a fun time working with those guys. Until Wednesday, though, Street Stocks takes to the track here. They're going to be heading out to, take a look at that schedule again, Irwindale, as they kick off their next 5 races. So should be some more good fast-paced action there. But until next time, y'all join us on Wednesday. See you then.